Your financial needs aren't independent of each other, so your financial advisors shouldn't be either. At Mercantile Bank, our experienced United Wealth professionals are united to serve you and your complete financial planning and wealth management needs. Are you just starting your investment journey or need to roll over a retirement plan? Do you need to plan for a loved one with special needs or for your own life after work? Maybe your business needs a succession plan or you want to enhance your employee benefit programs. Whatever steps you need to take, our United Wealth experts are ready to take them with you. Together, we are united.
Hi, this is Ron Kincher with Muddy River News. This is another Business Spotlight brought to you by Mercantile Bank and Rober and Phillips Attorneys of Law. We have Amy Dieters with us.
Hi.
With Above and Beyond by Amy.
Correct.
And you are a wedding planner.
I am.
And you recently purchased the Dick's Brewery
venue.
So how did that come about? Did they approach you? Did you say, boy, I really would like my own venue?
Actually, I never had any interest in owning a venue.
Okay.
So Eden, the previous event manager at Dick Brothers Brewery, had reached out to me about a year ago, asked if I was interested in managing the venue, taking over for her because she was leaving. And it worked out perfectly because I had just decided to quit running home daycare.
Okay.
And I met with Brett and Joy, and they both decided that I was a perfect fit for them. So I've been managing the venue since November of last year. And in September of this year, Brett and Joy approached me and asked if I would be interested in purchasing the venue.
So familiar with that whole area of the city, what did you buy? Just a second floor? Did you buy below that?
So the building is still with Brett and Joy.
Okay.
I bought the venue business.
Okay.
So I run the museum room, which is the lower level, and then the stock house, which is the upper level, and then the tower room, which is where we store all of our tables and chairs, and that's where the rental and planning business is going to go.
Okay, so you basically have the run of the place.
I have the run of the place.
So you can do it. You put giraffes in there if you want.
Correct.
Okay, so you do it.
I don't think Brett would like that.
No, I know he wouldn't, but it's still, you have the run of the place. So that's got to be a really good thing you can offer your clients, though.
It is. It's pretty amazing. And I'm excited. I had moved my rental and planning business to Mendon, which is where our kids go to school and everything. And having it back in Quincy is just going to be a huge benefit to that side of the business as well.
So when you were a little girl, what did you want to be when you grew up? I'm guessing it was not a wedding planner.
Actually, it was.
So there's no way.
There is. I used to play with my Barbies and plan their weddings all the time. Yes.
So this has been a goal of yours since you were...
It has been. And I honestly never thought it would happen because we're such a smaller community. And wedding planners, every time I thought of them, I would think of bigger cities, Chicago, New York, places like that. And in 2016 is when I started the wedding planning business, and it stemmed from our older kids getting married, and I planned both of their weddings. And I didn't get to enjoy most of it because I was running around doing everything. So I figured, why not? If I fail, then oh well.
So what was the biggest challenge? I assume starting a wedding planning business is no different than starting any other type of business, right?
Correct.
Or am I wrong there?
You're not, other than I didn't have any overhead. I could run it out of my home, so I didn't have any of the bills that I technically have with the venue.
But are there supplies that are required? I mean, or do you just rent all, or does the couple rent all that type of stuff and then you tell them where to put it?
So when I first started, it was literally just me planning their weddings and doing all the vendor meetings with them and then running the weekend of their wedding.
Okay, but you're certified.
I am a certified wedding planner.
So how do you get a certification for being a wedding planner, and what advantage does that provide you?
Online courses.
Okay, but what advantage does that give you?
It just gives me insight to incoming trends and information. So I'm a member of the Bridal Society, which is where I'm certified through, and they do monthly trainings and courses to keep us up to date on everything. It was a huge benefit during COVID because it helped us transition through how to work with clients and different vendors so that nobody was losing money and we were able to rearrange all of the events at that time.
So are the prospective bride and grooms, do they have a clue when they first meet with you?
Some of them do. And
then do you modify their clue, or do you just go, okay, what you say is good, we'll go ahead and do that?
No. So a lot of the times it's kind of like me coaching them on the way. So I actually just met with clients last week who she's an older bride, and I say older, she's still younger than me, but she's not in her 20s.
Right.
And so she's like, I have no idea. She's like, I never honestly thought that being married was something I was going to do. She's like, I don't even know where to start. So I called you. And so with them, I'm following through. I'm giving them all the suggestions of vendors of who they need to book, and they give me their budget. So I know, the cost that I'm trying to stay within. I mean, if they're a $20,000 wedding budget, that's a lot different than a $100,000 wedding budget.
But are the majority of the couples have a wedding planner within the budget, or do they have a budget and then find you?
A lot of them, I am the last vendor they book.
So, which is probably not the right idea, is it?
It's not. A lot of them usually come back to me after the wedding and say, I wish I would have found you sooner. I take a lot of the stress off of them, and I have another client that she was in freak out mode because she couldn't get a hold or book a vendor. And I told her, let's meet. And it was just me talking her off the ledge of stress. And she calmed down immediately.
But how do you, so I'm trying to figure out how you would charge for that type of situation where
It's
they bring
hard.
you in the middle versus bringing you in from the beginning.
So it depends on the package that they choose. If they're choosing for me to do the full planning, that's different because I'm doing all of the work. But if they're hiring me 6 weeks before the wedding or a year out from the wedding and they only want me to do the management of it, that's just the same price.
Okay, so you do offer packages.
I do.
I have that written down. So there
Yes.
are packages.
Yep. There's wedding management,
Okay.
which used to be called day of coordinator. That doesn't exist. I can't come in the day of your wedding and figure out what everything's supposed to be and what time things are supposed to happen. So wedding management starts 6 to 8 weeks before your wedding, and I get to know who you are as a couple, and then I reach out to all of the vendors and do all of the final details with them so that they aren't stressed out the final weeks before the wedding.
But you also can start
Correct.
before they even have done anything.
Correct.
Like,
So
we're
the
getting
one
married
that
and-
just reached out and booked, their wedding isn't until 2026, but they've already signed. And so now they get emails on when they need to have this booked, where they should be in the planning process, a list of recommended vendors that I know are good and reliable. And they have email access to me. So if they stress out and have questions,
Right.
they can ask me.
Do you allow the moms to talk to you?
I do, but the question that's
That's
always
that's going through my head
it is.
constantly.
So one of the biggest things is whoever signs the contract, that is who I have they have the final say on things.
Is it the bride or the groom generally?
It's always the bride.
Okay, just okay.
I have had mothers and the bride sign the contract, and I always tell them before they sign that the bride is the one who will make the final decision.
How's that work for you?
It works pretty good. I've only ever had one mom who wanted it to be all about her, and I learned my lesson from that one. So now I have clauses in my contract in place.
Have you turned anybody down?
No,
Okay.
unless I've been booked.
Okay. So how many weddings can you handle at a time? I'm not saying on the same weekend, but
Right.
within a couple months.
My busiest year for the planning side of the business is 12 weddings in the year.
Okay. Is that too much?
No, it was actually really good. Now having the venue, I don't know what my busiest is going to look like. So last year, I want to say we did 25 or 30 weddings. I don't know for sure. But then that also doesn't include like fundraisers, corporate events,
Right.
Christmas parties, things like that.
Do you do church weddings? Or does it matter where the wedding is
Yes.
taking place?
So for the planning side of the business, it does not matter.
Okay.
I go anywhere for the reception, for the ceremony, for all of it.
Okay.
We'll travel.
Okay. I went out to do some research. It's interesting that, and I don't know if you know this or not, but what you do is a growing market.
It is.
It's like 7.5% is going to grow over the next
Yes.
10 years.
So when I officially started in 2016, there were only 2 of us that marketed.
in Quincy.
In Quincy.
In the area. Okay.
And I learned over a couple of years that there was 1 or 2 others, but they just did it for like friends and family. And now there's like 5 or 6 of us in the area.
Right. So what do you think is driving that need? Just
People are more aware of what planning a wedding consists of, and they need assistance.
it's getting nutty, isn't it?
It is. I have always been one that I think it's ridiculous to spend an outrageous amount of money on a wedding, but if it's what you want to do, I'm going to help you plan it. I have always just thought that having a smaller budget-friendly wedding is the way to go because there's so many other things I could spend that money on.
Well, back in the, I don't know how long you've been married, but we just had ham and cheese sandwiches.
Yeah.
I mean, we didn't have a meal. It was just something to soak up.
And at our wedding, we
alcohol.
made the food. I mean,
Yeah.
we butchered pigs and made barbecue sandwiches.
So do you notice any type of competition that's going on? Between,
there's always
Sally
competition.
got married and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, there's always competition. But between vendors, it's friendly competition. Like the other vendors are driving us to be better as far as brides and
that's
grooms.
That's what I was getting at,
yes.
Yeah.
It's not so much a competition. It's that, well, so-and-so had this, and I want that, or I want to elevate that more. Or on the snideier comments of it, it's, well, so-and-so had this, and I don't want that at all. It looked tacky, or I didn't like it. Around this area, the mason jars and burlap were huge, and we're finally starting to get away from it. But Quincy seems to be a few years behind most trends.
Is it? So what is the
Yes.
trend right now? Like a bigger city trend?
Simple and chic.
Oh, can you elaborate a little
So,
bit? I
like
don't know if you can-
candelabras, tons.
simple?
It is simple. Lots of candles are huge, so you could just line your table with cylinder vases and put candles in them, and greenery. That's huge right
So if
now.
I wanted candelabras at my daughter's wedding reception, she's married already, but where would I find? I mean, can you find those for me?
Above and Beyond by Amy. I also do rental decor.
Okay. All
So
right.
I have a huge warehouse now in the brewery that all of my inventory will be stored in.
So yeah, so now that you have the wedding space, though,
Yes.
is there going to be a bit of a challenge for you to know I've got that wedding space? Boy, I really want to get them in my wedding space. Boy, I really want to get them wedding space, but they're looking at some other places around town.
Not really. I have one client who they're looking to do just like an after wedding brunch on Sunday.
Right.
And I'm looking for a venue for them. And my first thought wasn't immediately, oh, well, I have a venue. Let's sell you on that one.
Right.
It's more of what they want. Now, if they come to me and they're like, hey, I'm looking for like a rustic, more industrial theme or style, then we'll be like, Deck Brothers is the place to go.
What I find interesting is you also offer, if they want, your own officiant.
Yes.
You have officiant on staff.
I do have an officiant on staff. She was ordained online several years ago, and she started running her own business and decided she didn't like doing the business side of business. And so she was always one of my assistants that would come on weddings. And I'm like, why don't we just team up and you only do weddings for my clients now? It's a huge benefit for my clients.
I would, because a lot more, there's more and more weddings where it's not the
Yes.
traditional.
And it's hard to
reverend
find
or-
an officiant.
Yeah.
So she comes with the package. No matter what package you rent or
How does
book.
she feel about coming with the package?
She loves it. She loves it. She actually just did one a couple weeks ago,
Okay.
and it worked out great because she was there the whole day with me to run the show, and then she stopped being the assistant and was the ordained minister or whatever you want to call it. And then as soon as that was over, she was back to being
Okay.
the assistant.
All right. Well, thanks for coming in.
Yeah, I appreciate
Amy
it.
Dieters with Above and Beyond
By
Amy.
Amy.
Is
Yep.
there any other Above and Beyonds in town? Oh, there's a tattoo
There's a tattoo
place.
place.
Okay. You're not that.
I am not that.
All right. This has been the Business Spotlight. I'm Ron Kinscherf. This has been brought to you by Mercantile Bank and Rober and Phillips, attorneys at law.
Your financial needs aren't independent of each other, so your financial advisors shouldn't be either. At Mercantile Bank, our experienced United Wealth professionals are united to serve you and your complete financial planning and wealth management needs. Are you just starting your investment journey or need to roll over a retirement plan? Do you need to plan for a loved one with special needs or for your own life after work? Maybe your business needs a succession plan or you want to enhance your employee benefit programs. Whatever steps you need to take, our United Wealth experts are ready to take them with you. Together, we are united.